you guys. Welcome to another episode of the Midweek Motivation. You guys, I was still struggling, trying to figure out, am I going to get on time? I had to change the time to 7:15. I've been a little off today. Um, don't know why. Cannot explain why, but I have been off a little today. But that's all right. We are here. We are here. And if you looked at the description, you will see that we're going to be talking about community tonight. And I still have another show to go. I actually have two more shows I have to do after this one. So we're going to get our journal prompts in. We're going to talk about our wrap dresses. Her dress. Well, I think it's because of the way I wrapped her. Wrapped the dress. So Arzanda's here. She's checking us out. You guys don't know what I just did, right? The behind the scenes is awesome, okay? Trying to get prepared for this. I'll confess something. I usually take a nap after I do my readings. I usually take a nap, right? Well, my nap went over time a little bit, just a little bit, because I always have myself time to when I'm going to do my naps, right? But my nap went over. So please excuse me. So what I'm doing now is, I'm going to tell you what I'm doing now. Because another craft I have, other than making earrings and necklaces, that stuff like that, and bracelets and stuff, I do nails. When I say I do nails, I'm not saying other people's nails. I um, like to design nails. Um, so every now and then, I'll be fooling around with it. But today I was making jewelry, and I want to show you what I made today in just a few seconds here. And let me tell you something. When I tell you guys that I repurpose, remember, I don't know if you guys remember when I told you about pieces, that how I support Black businesses and how I support, there was a woman who used to come to the VA when I worked at VA, and that's when we could set up in the, like between where the cafeteria was. So she was set up and she would come from Shreveport, and I would buy majority of her jewelry. So what I did was, I repurposed some of the pieces that she gave me. I mean, that I bought from her, because after a while, and it's been a long time I've had it. So don't expect jewelry to last forever unless it's real. Okay, when I say real, I'm saying like diamonds and stuff like that. I'm not calling this. This is more stone type jewelry. So the some of the things do break, and some of them, yeah, some of them do break. So instead of me trying to repair them, I'll just make other pieces with it. So I'm going to show you real quick, because I don't want to mix it into what we're trying to do here. And we're going to talk about community. You know, you guys who actually celebrate the holidays understand, this is the time sometimes when we come together and we do different things in our communities, um, for our communities. Um, I noticed that a lot of things that we used to do, we don't do them anymore, right? So I was actually mending one of my nails, putting one back on that came off. Yeah, my nails come off because I was doing something else and I had to wind up mending the nail. Okay, so let us go ahead and get started again. So the pieces that I repurposed, okay, for instance, I'm real quick. So for instance, these were the original pieces. I don't think I made these. I think these were the original earrings from a set that I had the bracelet, and then I had the earrings to go with it. I think this is the original piece. Okay. Um, so what I did was, this was part of either the bracelet or the necklace. As you can see, it's the same thing. So I turned it into I created this into some earrings. So you'll probably see this on my Facebook page once or twice. I'll probably put it up there. But I created these from the repurposed necklace that went with this. Okay. Another piece I made with that. Mhm. These are also from that same set. I created these from that set. So you can do that. I mean, without a doubt, you can definitely do that. And I guess we can talk about creating. Um, I guess I can do some of that on here one day. Let me see what else did I repurpose. I'm trying to figure out. Well, I haven't started. Now, this is, yeah, those are the original. This is another set I bought from her. And this is the original. I have not, I've already, I got the other part. I haven't worked on them yet. I haven't made anything with them yet. But, yeah, let me see, make sure that, yeah, that's it. So the two pieces now, I had two pieces I made today. I made these pieces today. Um, I made these pieces today, but this is from another set I had made. And I said I repurposed this one. I went back and redid this. Like when you're, I had it under leather. I had it more of a leather necklace, and I took it off and put it on here. So this is how long this one is. And then I created this one because I have these links. So I created this one. Okay. So this is another one I created with the pearls. That lighting is crazy. But yeah, I created this one with the pearls. So what I'm saying is it's not hard to do. It can be done. And I really don't need to be making no more jewelry. I'm gonna be honest with you, okay? I don't need to be making any more jewelry because I have made enough. Um, but it's good for me. It's good exercise. It's good. Keeps my hands moving. Keeps me designing things. All right. So let's go ahead and get started with what we're going to talk about today. So today we're talking a little bit. Oh Lord, I spent 5 minutes, 13 minutes, 8 minutes doing it. Okay, because I got another show to do at 8:30, so I have to be prepared for that. Okay, so let us go ahead and talk a little bit about the ideal that this is the time for community, right? This is the time when we look at how important is community. What is community to you, right? How do you see a community? Um, and it doesn't necessarily have to be your neighbors, okay? It doesn't have to be your neighbors. It could be your community could be the city you live in, right? Um, your community could be maybe the school district you're in, right? So community can be seen as many, many things. But what we have to do is we have to um, we have to know how does it how does it fit for you, right? How does it um, work for you? Okay, let me see something here. Okay, let's see here. Okay, okay, let's see. Okay, okay, okay. And how do we see community? Um, and it could be your version of what community means. Okay, um, and let's see here. Give me a second. Okay. So when we say community, how do we see community? What is community to you? Okay. Um, we know that community can be a excuse me, put it right here so I can see it. So, a community, when you use the word commune, right, means something that you're doing in common, something you have in common with someone else, right? So that is the version of community I guess I need to talk about or need to say is the community that you have something in common with them. Not only do you live in the same area, you might have the same amount of children, you might have the same type of interests, so that's where you can build a community. Community doesn't have to be physical, right? So we know we build communities online in different platforms, social media platforms we have. You know, we do that's how we build community. We we um and we can take that and move outward. A lot of times in business, they you create say you have an online business and you create a community around your business who likes the products that you sell, who likes the services that you provide. And if you have that in common with that person or those people, then you know that's your community. You know that you can get in there. This is a community, believe it or not. This is all a community. The way that we come together on Wednesdays. I was doing Monday, Wednesdays, and Saturdays, right? But now it's just Wednesdays and Saturdays. So when we come together like that, unless something comes up and I'll add a day on. But this is how we do it. This is the original way we do it, is to come together and talk about the things we talked about. Last week, as you know, Sunday, we talked about the ideal of friendship, how making a friendship checklist for 2026. Who are really going to be in your corner? Who are you having in your life that's a community? Because we all had a conversation about that, right? We talked about that, right? So um, we could these are some of the examples of what a community is. A community is a place, right? We all live together. Remember, I mentioned that earlier. Another thing is the interests or goals, which we just talked about. If it was a service or product or service that we all like together, and we build this. A business can build off of that and gather people around and teach people certain things about that, and some things that people can teach you about that. Okay, so we know that's there. And then values or even the way we identify ourselves can be part of a community. How do you see yourself, right? um, then also it's another way. Community is also a support system, because remember I asked earlier, how do you help in your community? What do you do in your community, right? So it can be a support in a connection. We're talking about common, something same, something similar, right? So we could do it that way too. Now, and you know, around this time of the year, we usually come together, right? For the holidays, right? We have hello, we have award ceremonies, we have dinners. We just got to we did Thanksgiving. Now we're about to do a Christmas because it's like next week, ain't it? Week after next, I guess. I'm being funny. Um, but we have those, and those are the times when we come together as, you know, eating something common. We get together, laugh, have a good time, exchange gifts, because you know that's during the time we do that. Exchange gifts, meet new people, because there could be new people in the community that's coming that has the same interest. You didn't meet them yet, but at that time, you're able to meet those people at that event, right? We have galas around this time. So, you know, you get a chance to meet some, you know, maybe some people that you didn't know live in the neighborhood, or people you just didn't know that had the same thing in common that you do, right? So, so we have to keep that in mind when we're talking about it. Now, another thing is, um, let's see here. So another thing we can talk about is, okay, so how do you, we already know you have something in common with that person, right? With the community or people. So what else can you think you can bring to the table of the community? For instance, let's find something that you all have. Say you, okay, let's make it real simple. So, you know, when you talk about book clubs, right? You know what a book club is. Like when you guys grab a book, somebody initiate a book to read, and everybody comes together and you read the book, you take time out to read the book, and then you come together and talk about the book and what you liked about it. You have certain questions that you can ask during the time that maybe it's the book that you chose. You maybe have 10 questions for the group to answer. And this is after they've read the book. And those 10 questions, you want to hear what they have to say on those 10 questions, right? So that's a way that you can, not only are you communicating with them, but you're coming together, you're grouping together in this one common thing, this book. You read this book, it was so interesting. I had a good time. So give me some of the questions that I would ask, in that book club. You know, what did you see yourself in any of the characters in the book? Okay, that could be a question, right? And somebody says, "Well, yeah, but might have saw Becky Sue in it more than I seen me in it." Or, say, okay, did you pay attention to where this story came from, or where it was, the place that it came out of? Have you ever heard of that place, right? Have you ever visited that place? It's certain different questions that you could ask that will pertain to the book. And then you ask, what do you see what the plot was? Okay. Did you understand what the main characters were doing? Did do you see the main character as an antagonist or a protagonist? Was there some good and evil in the book? Those kind of questions come up when you're talking in a book club, right? So you have to, you recognize those things, right? And so this is where you start to communicate, and this is where you start to talk and get things out, and then you can add your own piece, like your opinion on it, and then you can find out what other people really, really, really think, by that conversation you're having about this particular book at that particular on that particular question, right? Um, so we can talk about main types of community. Let's talk about that. So we can talk about a place-based community, right? We can talk about, because again, I mentioned them earlier, but I'm going to say it again. Your neighborhoods, your community, your church congregation, also, right? And then your city or parish. So those are communities. That's, remember, I told you that, right? Golly, I'm just double checking my information, I guess. Okay, then we have interest-based communities, right? That's I just said entrepreneur. Why is it actually saying what I just said, man? Why? Why? Look, why? So talking about entrepreneurs, you can have a group or community of entrepreneurs, right? That you guys are sitting around talking, or you can do it on Zoom. There's different platforms that you can communicate. My big hands. You can communicate back and forth with people like-minded and people who are entrepreneurs like you are. For instance, if someone who's new into entrepreneurship and they want to know what would be their describe their business. This is a question they give you, okay, or the group. They describe their business and they want to know whether they should do a corporation, should they do a LLC? Should they do a C corp, a B corp? Which direction should I go into? Should I do a foundation? And you're able to sit there and kind of break it down for them, and then have them make the decision on which direction they want to go in. I did a whole thing on that, breaking down the different ways you can start a business, right? And I broke them down and I told the pros and cons of each one of them. You see what I'm saying? So you can explain that to them, right? And then that'll give them an idea of where they want to go. And see, you got to remember, not only are you directly talking to that person, you're talking to everyone else in there that probably that didn't know to ask that question, but now they're actually getting the answer. So that is very, very, very important when you're talking about that. You can talk about women entrepreneurs. Let's even break it down even more. You can talk about women entrepreneurs, right? Minority women entrepreneurs who want to see what they can, because lots of times people want to be entrepreneurs and they don't know which direction to go into, right? So your community group, your groups, or your community, your entrepreneur community, can help them in that. You not say hold their hands, but you can help them, guide them kind of where they think they want to go. Now, they can always change their mind. There's nothing wrong with changing your mind and where you want to go, but you can actually give them that head start, right? Now, now let's talk about identity or value-based communities, right? So these are women uplifting women, like we do here, because that's what this is actually an identity or interest-based community. With the things I do, where you can't clip my wings, or Vita One clothing, with motivation midweek motivation, okay, with Sundays, with Sunday reset, okay. Those are actual community. People come in and hang out with us over here and interact with us on Talk Shop Live and on my other platforms. When you guys do that, hey, that's us being a community, right? And being able to interact with each other, right? So yeah, so we can do that, and this helps women to feel empowered, because this is what we're talking about. We're talking about empowerment, right? So with your community, with this community, right, we're able to do that. We're able to empower each other, encourage each other, okay, uplift each other. And even when we don't feel like we want to do that, right, it's always going to be somebody sitting there waiting, and they're going to want to do it too. So keep that in mind, you guys. Don't think that we're the only ones doing this. There's a lot other people. There's people who have thousands and thousands of people in their groups. We're not that big, and I'm not even worried about that. Okay. I love the intimacy of our groups. I really do. I love the idea that we are interacting on a smaller scale. Um, the bigger scale can come later on. If it ever comes, it's not really a big deal if it doesn't. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not trying to do that. I'm good with my little cozy little group, okay, and sharing this information with you guys, right? Because sometimes, you know, your information might not be what some people want to hear, so you don't want to get it. I don't. I'm gonna say me. I can't speak for anybody else. I don't want my community so large that I'm not able to connect with people, right? Um, we can talk about Black-owned business communities, right? Like minority women, Black-owned businesses pertaining to women, because that's what I actually gear toward mainly, is minority, not minority, because we're not minorities. Let me not use that word. Get that word out of my vocabulary. We're not minorities. Black women, and being able to empower Black women, encourage Black women, motivate Black women, be that cheerleader for Black women in the communities that are doing the things that we're doing, right? So that's where I want to be, okay, and that's where I want to carry what we're doing here, okay, to be able to do that, right? Um, and also keep in mind too, when we talk, there's spiritual growth goes into this. All of this is part of what we would consider, when I say empowerment. I'm talking about spiritual, I'm talking about mental, emotional, all of that. I want to be able to help you in those categories as a community, right? And we're here to help each other, okay, in that category, in those categories. So it's not really just about me doing it for you. I want you to be able to share what we talk about on here with other people when it comes to this, right? um so let's talk about what makes a community, what puts the community in place. How do we say, well, this is going to be the community want? How do we pick or choose what we want in our community, right? Do you think we should have some guidelines, right? Now, let me tell you something, what I don't like. I'm going to tell you real quick and then we'll move on. So on Facebook, you know, you have community, you have groups you get into and stuff. And I understand people have to protect some of the things that, you know, that are on their pages and stuff. If you ask me to join your group and I gotta go through 5 different phases to join your group, then I'm not gonna join your group. I'm not. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because if we have something in common, that's what we have in common. And I want to share information with you, and I want you to share information with me. All that other extra stuff doesn't matter. It doesn't. And if you got to be particular about everything I put on your page, or you got a question, I don't, that's too much work. That's too much work for me. Okay. So if you join my group, and I can't remember how all my groups are set up, right? I invite people. I want you to invite people to join. I don't have a problem with that. I'm not going to give you 500 different things you need to do before you get in a group. We're not doing that. If you're not trying to spam or scam anybody in my group, there, that's fine. But I'm not going through all of that. It's a group, it's a community. I want people to feel comfortable when they come in, just like you do if you have somebody invite you to your house. If you invite someone to you want them to feel comfortable. You don't want to make them feel unease. So people are looking for something to connect to. So I'm not going to put a lot of restrictions on being able to connect to people who are like-minded, like you are. I'm not going to do that. And I know people do their thing. I don't know what it's. Sometimes it's a power play and all that, but we're not doing that. Okay. We make the most complicated things out of things that are very simple. We do, and we don't have to. Okay. So, so when you talk about a strong community, we're talking about connection. We're talking about shared experiences, right? And a purpose, right? And we're talking about the ideal of having that support. And again, communication is part of community. So you having that communication is so important, right? And making sure everybody is participating in creating the community. It's not just one person. Everybody needs to be part of it. Everybody needs to interact. Everybody needs to ask a question. Everybody needs to understand where they play, what role they play in the community, right? It's not always about, well, who's in charge? I'm in charge, you do this. No, it's not about all of that. I don't try. I want everybody to feel comfortable in this community. I'm bringing you a platform to feel comfortable on. And I say that because when we started Universal Collective Network several years ago, we knew we didn't have a platform where we were talking about Black issues, because it basically was about Black issues, right? We didn't have that. We didn't have a social media platform to be able to do that. I think I was getting kicked off of a lot of them because of the stuff that we talked about, right? So finally, we came up with an ideal, say Universal Collective Network, and give people a platform to voice their opinions or post what they want. Even though we're on Facebook, but we also have other streaming platforms that we're also on that gives us that opportunity. We go to AOC, which is Acadian Open Community out in Lafayette. We go out there and actually do Universal Collective Network television. And I have a show on their in their programming. So those are the platforms we can use to continue to express ourselves, right? So when you have that, you're giving our people, and I say our people, I'm talking about Black women, Black men and women, that opportunity to have a community where they feel comfortable to speak their mind. You can come on our show. When you come on and I don't know if everybody knows about the Can We Be Frank show, the podcast that's on Facebook, been on Facebook for 9 years now. You don't understand? You can come on there and voice your opinion. We allow you to do that because we know you can't do that anywhere else where you're not kicked off. And this is, it's great because we can give you the link to come into the room with us and talk. So you're not even, you're not even having to deal with all that extra. You see, and we don't have a big long list of agreements just to come in and communicate and interact with us. Okay. So you want to make it as comfortable and easy to be accessible, right, in your community, right? And that's how it's important. Another thing is, and this is a big one for me, consistency, right? Showing up, being there, talking, interacting, making actions, right? Making things happen, okay? Being consistent on what you're doing and being able to show up for each other, because we have to do that too, right? In the community, coming together, we have to be able to support each other, right? In that whole dynamics, right? So let's talk about, why does it matter? Why does the community really matter? Well, the reason why a community matters is building a belonging, having a place, a platform, somewhere where the common good is the common thing is whatever it is that you believe in, whatever situation that you're in, or whatever you believe in, or the people, the group that you're with believe in, having that common place where you guys can come together, right? Let's talk about it. It provides emotional support. I know, which was kind of weird, when there was no, sometimes these they have a lot of different support groups, right? Like if you have a child that runs away, they have teenage runaway groups for parents, right? You have uh, Alcohol Anonymous is a support group, right? You have drugs, right? You have, I don't know what it's called, but people who do drugs and people who are recovering drug addicts. So you have different types of people who have lost somebody. You have those kind of groups. So they're again a common ground in having someone to support you in that time, right? And you meet people there, people that might be your lifelong friend, right? In the process, right? It helps people grow faster, right? You have a lot of people who are shy, right? That don't like to interact. By the time you finish with the group, you're interacting with people, you're talking to people, you're making changes, you're doing this, you're doing that, and you're enjoying it, right? Which is great, right? And then we have, you guys heard, I'm sorry, give me a second. Okay, there we go. And then it creates opportunities, right? It creates opportunities for maybe meeting someone who knows someone who knows someone. I'm not talking about no nepotism, but if there's a great ideal out there and you don't have the resources for the ideal, but somebody else does, and somebody else in the group knows that person who has the resources for it, and they communicate with you and get you to meet that person, called networking, actually. And you're networking, before you know it, you have everything you need. You didn't really do nothing but have a conversation. You see what I'm saying? So it creates those opportunities for you, right? And then it also helps with confidence. I don't know if you've ever heard of Toastmasters. Okay. um we actually had a Toastmaster group when I was working at the VA. So Toastmasters helps people to do public speaking. Okay. And they're all over the world, right? And I think, if I'm not mistaken, they have like different competitions and stuff. Well, we had a Toastmaster going on, and it was a way that people who wanted to be able to speak in front of people, who had issues with speaking in front of people, they would join the group. And we would have these different days that we get up and we talk and we do different interactions, and we were able to critique each other, right? And we go to other people's Toastmasters groups, right? And you meet other people who do like you do, like love doing Toastmasters, love speaking in front of people. And then you get used to that. And that's the fun part about it, is because you get to see other people do the things that you're doing, and you get a chance to critique them from a whole nother group, right? So yeah, so that's what I'm talking about when we talk community, being able to interact not only with your community, with other communities that are just like yours. When we talk about like we talk about military organizations, right? Their communities. Like I used to be with the American Legion. Um, you got VFW, you got DAV. So you have those, and we did meetings, we did the whole 9 yards. We got a chance to interact with other groups that were just like ours, or different lodge numbers and stuff. So we got a chance to do all that, and I met other people from other places, right? My hands, let me push this up some more, because I just keep touching everything, and I talk with my hands, you guys. Um, so, so you get a chance to do all that. There we go. So you get a chance to see what other people are doing in there, and then bring back those ideals to your group, your community, that you were not doing, right? And then they can take that from you. They'll say, well, man, we didn't think about doing that. We're going to try that next time. So that's what we do when you talk about a community. And then when you're actually dealing with other communities that are similar to yours, right? And it also increases accountability. Remember, we talked about consistency, right? So if you're consistent, you keep showing up, you keep supporting each other, accountability. So when someone does something, and we have a deep down discussion about it, and they say, well, you know what, I shouldn't have done that. I should have thought about it before I did it. When you can say that, That's showing accountability. And so they're setting an example for everybody else to be accountable for any actions that they do. So yeah, we learn from each other very much so in this in a community, right? And you're not going to always get the favorite people, okay? You're not going to always get the people that you want in your community, um, in the community that you're involved in. You're going to have your naysayers and you're going to have those, but your focus is on what is this? What is the purpose of my community? Okay. Why am I here? And just focus on why you're here. Stand out. Okay. And then stay on task on whatever it is that your community is supposed to be doing. If people don't want to, let me tell you what people will do. People will slowly but surely drift themselves away from you. When you continue consistently do what you're doing, people will slowly but surely fade into the background. Some people have personality problems where you know, they want to be in charge and all that, but you don't have time for all of that. Find something in the community that works for you, okay, and do it. That's it. And then if you want to, you share that with the community. Hey, I did this. We had a book fund run or whatever, and we collected this many books. And what we did was we went around to the houses and we found kids that needed some books to read, and we gave them books to read. Something simpler like that. If nobody else wanted to participate in it, that's fine. You did it. Move on. Next thing on my list that I would like to do. I want to bring it to the community. I want to talk about it, see if you guys agree with us doing it. Let's make it happen. All that other stuff is not even necessary. But we know that's life. Drama is life, okay? Drama is life. I mean, I'm just saying. That's how it is. Some people um are like that. It's going to be somebody who's never satisfied, okay? So now the next thing we want to talk about, okay, 7:50. Okay, so the next thing we want to talk about, how do you build a community? How do you build a community? What does it take? What are the fundamentals of building a community? And how do you attract the people you want in your community? Remember I told you earlier on some of my Facebook groups, they're open, right? And either people are going to voluntarily join the group or they're not, right? I know one of my groups have grown. I was surprised to see that, but it had grown. The other group has grown too, right? And people are joining all the time. I'm happy. I'm very happy because I don't have restrictions on people joining my group at all. I mean, it's Facebook. Even if I was making money off of that particular, I'm still not going to do that. I want people to have an opportunity to have access to the information that I'm sharing on my page. So I'm not doing all that. Now, if they have a one-on-one or want a private, yeah, that's a different story, but it's not private. We're on the social media platform. So I'm funny about a lot of things that I'm not going to do when it comes to putting rules down on everything. I don't like conformity. So I'm not going to do that to everybody. And I know, well, you got to not let everybody get out of hand. I know, but I don't have that problem on none of my groups. I don't have that problem with people getting out of hand at all. So I think because maybe because they don't even know that those groups are and I don't know. But anyway, so now how do we create a community? So you choose the first thing you do when you're creating a community, you choose your core message. What is your message? What is it that you want people to pay attention to? Right? What is it that you're trying to do with this community? Right? What is it? Okay. Um, say for instance, if it was me and I didn't already have a community, because I am so enthralled with Black women being able to be empowered, that would be how I would build my group, off of Black women being inspired to be empowered, right? That would be my message, right? Now, um, and what would I be doing? I would be helping them get there, because that's what I want to do. I want to help them understand who they are, understand how powerful they are, and how impactful they can be on on the community as a whole, right? So the next thing I would do, and look, the first word came out was empowerment, right? You see, look, sisterhood is another one, okay? Would be something I would use in the messaging of the group. Um, so then once you get the message, the next thing is, what's the purpose? What is the purpose of the group? What would be why would I want this community to exist? Okay. Um, Again, the word empower comes to mind. Um, I want this group to exist because I want to be able to empower women to reclaim themselves, to reclaim where they want to be in life, right? Or something to that effect, right? So that would be the purpose of the group, right? It could be um, another thing is to inspire them to become entrepreneurs, right? Then we can go on the spiritual or the enlightenment pathway, or whatever. We can say that too. Those are the different things that go along with that. But long as you have a purpose of the for the group is important, and the purpose fits what you want, and it has to fit the message, right? All of it has to come together, right? Be as one. Okay. So we also make sure that everybody is seen, heard, right? They're supported, because those are the core things that we want to happen in the group, right? And we also want to be able to make sure people are being transformed. They came in one way, but you want them to go out a different way. Okay? They came in shy, not very sure of themselves, but when they leave the group, or when they elevate themselves, they're transformed. They're more bold. They're standing, their heads up. They're able to express themselves, because sometimes people who are shy don't know how to express themselves. So by the time they leave the group, that's where you want to leave them. You want to leave them better than when they first came in. Okay, so that's transformative. You want that to happen in your group. If it's a group dealing with women, right? Especially Black women. Because, like I told you guys before, Black women are the most disrespected women on this planet for some reason. We're the most disrespected. We're the most I don't want to call us victims, but we're victims of culture. People stealing who we are, what we do, how we look, right? How we carry ourselves. They want to suck us dry of all of the things that we give to other people, right? They want to emulate us. So we're the most used, or I don't know what the word I want to use to say how they feel about us, right? And it's not always a good thing. Some things are all right to be emulated, but not all the time, because they don't give us the prop that goes with them taking from us what they do. Okay. Then what you do next is you choose your community home. Where do you want your community at? So, in other words, when I say home, I mean platform. Where do you want it to be, your platform to be focused on? What is it that you think that would be that area that will work for you? Um, we talked about Facebook groups. Remember, I just told you about Facebook, okay? There's WhatsApp. I don't use WhatsApp, but that's another place. Also, having a community on YouTube. I have 2 channels on YouTube. I have 3 channels on YouTube. One of them is my readings. The other channel is my channels, what I do, almost similar to what I do here. Matter of fact, we're streaming to my YouTube channel right now, Salita McCall channel, right? And then I have another channel, um, my music channel that I create my music on, right? So I have three platforms. And by the way, you guys, it's called Music Princess 2026. Please go over there and subscribe on my YouTube channel, my music channel. I have 8 subscribers on there. I need some subscribers, okay? I can't even go live on my channel. I have to have 50 subscribers to even go live on that channel by itself, okay? Now, but if you get a chance, go over there and check it out. I need 50. Well, I got 8 now, so I need 42 more people to join that channel. My other channels are fine. I don't. My other channels are good. It's just that channel because it's sort of like a new channel, but I don't promote it enough at all. I don't know why. Sometimes that ADHD kicks in and it makes it hard for me to to be consistent, right? Um, but anyway, but if you get a chance, go over there, listen to the music, and then subscribe, and then send somebody else over there and subscribe. So these are the platforms that you can use. And again, I told you we have our own streaming platform that you can, if you come over, if you see us on there, we have a QR code that kicks you right into our direct stream, our direct platform to come on. So you have these avenues that you can use to create your own community, right? So you have an opportunity. Also, you can do it through email. I didn't realize that. So that's not true because I did realize it. I just never thought to use email for that. Now I use email to send messages and information through, but I didn't think of it as a community. I really didn't. Well, that's a great idea. Well, no, you have to because if you have a group of people and you have all them in the same, you're trying to get out a message, you would put it in the email with everybody's name in it. So you have a group email, which is part of the community. People can respond back and forth to you on that. You can also do it through Google Meets. They have one also where you can gather up and actually, do this what we're doing now, back and forth, face to face, and talk to people that way too. Messenger on Facebook. I don't know. I don't know if you know about Messenger. Messenger is great for that. Now, what I realized with Messenger, what they've done on Facebook is you can chat. You now they're saying you only can read the chats when you have a group chat. Now you can't actually go back and forth. You just can read it. You used to could actually have chats on there where you can talk back and forth, but now you just can respond to everybody in the chat, individually. I guess I don't know. But you also can talk on Messenger. We usually do a lot of group talking on Messenger. Now there's also a thing called Discord. My son tells me about Discord. I tried Discord. It was just too complicated for me. So I know a lot of people do Discord. That's another way of a community. He has his own little community group that he talks to on there for himself, right? So that's interesting, right? So these are the things that you can do if you wanted to create a group, get a message, get a purpose, get a platform, okay? And then get the people. If you join a Facebook group, watch how that Facebook group grows. See what they're doing. See how they're interacting. Are they doing lives? Are they doing chats? Are they sending out messages? See all that. It's so many different ways if you're interested in creating a community. Like I said, because we're in the season of doing that, coming together, you got next year coming in. Maybe that's something you want to think about doing next year, right? And it's not even about bringing on your friends and family and all that. It's you being able to interact with the community, the people that think the same way you do. Like even with me having sisters, me and my sisters don't all think alike. We don't all have the same things in common, right? So I connect with people who have things in common with me. I'm very much so in empowering Black women. That's what I like doing. I've found a niche in it and I work it, So that's what I like doing. I love doing that. Doesn't mean everybody else has to do it, but people who like doing what I do, then hey, let's get together, throw ideas back and forth, you know? And that's what you have to do. That's how you move forward in everything you're trying to do when it comes to a community, right? Okay. So the next thing, now that you know how to create a community, we did that. That's great. Next thing I want to talk about is our wrap dresses. Let's get our wrap dresses, and then we're gonna go into our journal prompts. Okay. So as you know, I told you already that I got a message from the people who make my dresses, right? And they were telling me that the prices of the delivery, the shipment, and all that has gone up because of your president. Not my president, your president. So it's a little bit more, and it's going to take a little bit longer for any orders to come back. Not get there, but come back. So what I'm going to do, um, there might be something I can do to kind of offset that for you guys, right? When you order. Now, the package that we got two different packages that we're offering. Well, not packages, but two different things that are going on as events for the month of December. First of all, we have the wrap dress, the Legacy Edition wrap dress that comes in a bundle. It comes with a 1 ounce jar of the hydrating cleanser, and it comes with a Start Healthy book magazine, and it comes with an affirmation card. Okay, that's one bundle once you order a dress, right? Um, that comes, okay, that's an $89 value for that. That's with the wrap dresses, right? Last month we had the dresses out for $59, right? So this month we're doing a bundle. We're adding more things on as a bundle, or items or products on as a bundle. Okay. Then, if you've seen the beginning of this show, the promo for the show, I showed you our digital December digital sale. All of those books on there are digital books, ebooks. They're all on sale. So if you go to You Can't Clip My Wings and you go to our shop ritual, you'll see the different prices, how we bulk the prices down. We decrease the prices. So there'll be assets, and that's for the month of December. They will go back up to the original price or slightly close to the original price um, in January, or we'll find another deal. But yes, we can roll those out. It's a digital download. It doesn't cost for you to be it. You can look, purchase it, and download it. Now, when you go to our webinars, okay, when you participate in the webinars, some of those books are free. When you subscribe to my Substack, some of them books are free. Doesn't cost you a dime. Okay, I'm just saying. So it pays to hang out with me. I'm just saying. And I'm not doing this to bribe for you to hang out with me. I'm just saying there's benefits in hanging out with me. Okay, I'm just saying. Yeah, there's benefits in hanging out with him. It comes with benefits. So in January, the first Monday in January, we have another webinar coming up. Okay. And this one is going to include a worksheet with it. So you're going to have work to do. Yeah. So I'm excited about that. Okay. And most likely, if you got one of the free ebooks, you're going to get another one, but it's going to be a different free ebook. You see what I'm saying? When you sign up for our webinars, you're not going away empty handed. Okay. And Miss Dixon and everybody who was able to get one of those ebooks, we're going to discuss that ebooks. I want to see if you've been able to have an opportunity to read that ebook, because that's going to be one of our lessons that we're going to talk about over here. So I'm excited for that. Okay, now, again, if you don't have a journal, we have digital journals over on our website, right? That you can purchase, and you can start with your journal prompting, okay? And we're going to go ahead and do that. So We got the ones from the last time, which were, we talked about, oh, doggone. No, I think I already did that. No. We missed talking about the ones for, yeah, we didn't do these. You see how clumsy I am? Y'all see how clumsy? I'm clumsy. I told you, I'm real clumsy. Okay. Everything back to, yeah, everything. Okay. So we talked about the journal prompts from the webinar. I think it was. So now we're going to talk about the journal prompts from the show I think we didn't do last time. I mean, we forgot to do them. So let's go to those. I'm sorry, I'm a little bit mixed up today. But let's see. Let's go ahead and get these out the way. So, I don't think we talked about this. Let me know if we did these already, because I'm kind of unorganized right now. I can admit that. Told you, I don't have a problem. I'm me. No, I think we did these, but let's see. If we didn't, I'll have to get some more. I'll just, on the next show, we'll have the different ones. Okay. Okay, so the first question is, what are you looking for? What are you looking forward to in the next year? Did we have that one, Miss Dixon? Do you remember us having that one? Let me know if you remember this. Because that's my next list of journal prompts that I have. Improve yourself. I'm trying to figure out if we did. If we didn't, that's all right. And if you can't use these, that's all right. We'll kind of refresh it for the next time. Okay. Let's see here. What are you looking forward to in the new year that will help you improve yourself? I don't think we did these. I'm not for sure, but that's all right. If we did, let me know. Okay. What ritual will you use to spend more time learning more about yourself? So when we talk ritual, remember I explained what ritual is? Ritual is not something where you're conjuring up things, okay? I told you the ritual, what the word ritual means. Ritual is just any routine task that you do over and over again. A habit is a ritual, right? You get up every day, you wash your face, you brush your teeth. That's a ritual, okay? So sometimes when people see that word ritual, oh my God, they're doing something, they're conjuring up ghosts or something, trying to bring the ancestors back in. No, ritual is just a word, another word for habit or routine. Okay? That's all it is. Okay? Number 3, you know what? I should have put these up already, but that's all right. It doesn't take long. My handwriting is not that bad. I don't have to write anything. List 5 things that you think you deserve emotionally? That's a good deep question. That's a good question. Maybe one day we'll answer these questions out loud. That would be interesting, huh? Um, what can I do to improve? Oh, not the word improve, it's empower. Empower myself to be great. Hmm, good question. I love that question. Good questions. Okay, and the last but not least, list a goal. All right, all right. List a goal you want to work on for the month of December. You want to, I like that, work on for the month of December. I like that one. I'm going to have to really think that one up. Okay, so these are going to be your journal prompts for this segment. I hope these are not the same ones. Okay, if it is, oh well, we'll just get some more. Okay, wow. Let's see here. Let's see. Let me make sure I got everything. Did I get everything? I want to make sure I'm touching everything I need to touch. Yeah. Okay. I got everything. Okay. So now that you guys got all of that, what is this? Okay. Um. So. Ooh. So. So we did that. I'm trying to make sure I'm checking off in my head that we discuss everything I wanted to discuss with you guys today. Journal prompts. Talked about the deals. We talked about community, how to build one. We did all that. I have to make sure because I don't write down everything, you guys, not all the time. So, yes, this was a great conversation discussion about community. I definitely want you guys to think about starting your own. If you do not already have a Facebook group, start small. Do a Facebook group. Find something that you think other people would be interested in, right? And join them. Let me tell you, I think I'm in over 200 groups on Facebook. That's excessive. And the only reason why I'm on those groups is because I'm interested in a lot of things. You see what I'm saying? So I'm not a one person thing. It doesn't work for me. I gotta be, and I think some of these groups I have been in for years, and I don't think I have visited them. I don't think I have visited them in ages. I'm not saying that to say get in a whole bunch of groups and then don't participate. I'm just telling you, I'm in a lot of communities on Facebook. Some of the communities, I think they probably went private. I don't know. And that you have to answer 500 questions to get in them. I don't know because I haven't checked them all. It's just certain ones that have come across my news feed that I pay attention to, that I actually, I'll respond or interact with them. But I think I'm in over 200 groups. I confess. Yeah. So, and every now and then I join another one. I think I joined another one. Oh, I know which one I just joined yesterday. The Law of Attraction. It's a group called Law of Attraction, and it has the different sayings and stuff on it, pros and, posts and stuff. And I joined that group. And so I share a lot of their stuff. You might see some of the stuff on some of my pages already because I share that stuff. Yeah, I'm in some tarot reading groups. I'm in some storytelling groups. I'm in some author groups because all those things are things that I do. So they interest me. But the question is, why aren't you doing other than just looking? I don't know. I don't know why, but I do. Okay. I'm in those groups. So creating a community is not hard to do. You can do it. Okay. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and let you guys go because I got another show to do. So I'll see you guys over there. You guys know who it is. Miss Dixon already knows. The Kevin B. Frank Show. It's a podcast on Facebook. We're very, that's where I get raw at. That's the other side of me. Okay. This right here is the nice and sweet and kind, cherishable Salida over here. The other side is I'm political. I love my politics. So I get a little dirty in politics. Okay? All right? So I shall see you if you want to come over there and hang out with us over there. Don't forget to do that. Okay? You can check out or become subscribers to all my YouTube channels. All right? One called Salida McCall. The other one is Music Princess 2026 is my music channel. My other channel is my Queen Universal tarot reading channel that you can join. Either one of them, all of them, you can subscribe to them. When you subscribe, doesn't mean that I'm gonna come and hang out at your house. Just subscribe. Just say click new subscriber. I need some new subscribers. Okay. All right. All right, you guys. I will see you later. Thank you for hanging out with us here on Midweek Motivation. Oh, Miss Hall. Hello, ma'am. Hello, I'm about to go because I got to get ready to go over on the other stage. You know that, right? So I'm going to say to you guys, good evening. Thank you, thank you, thank you for hanging out with us here. So see us over on the other side. Bye bye. Because I got to get ready for the other class. I mean, the other show. Mm.